familiar with the guy. Next guy is Larry King, and I was with him under 10 times, which is actually about maybe 5 or 6.
The Larry King from Omaha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then involved Franklin Credit Union. Met him in 80, and I met him in 82 or 83 at the parties. Seen him in 80 at rituals. I seen him in 79 at a couple of rituals, but I never really knew who he was until 80, and then I was introduced to him. And in 82, 83, some stuff happened. I met him at the parties I met him through Bear. And then he started inviting me to his parties and stuff, which I never really had to do anything with him as long as I kept his big shots that he brought in happy. He didn't expect nothing from me. He paid me good.
Who were the big shots he brought in?
A lot of them, I don't know. A lot of them were like senators and congressmen from other states.
State senators or U.S. senators?
To them.
State senators or U.S. senators?
State senators, U.S. senators, congressmen, governors. I mean, that's where I got involved with the Washington, D.C. and stuff, and went to Washington, D.C. a lot. And he was also, I believe, involved with Monarch, because I remember seeing him, or a fat man that looked like him, maybe younger, in the early 70s and stuff when I first got involved with Monarch. So I think it was him. I'm not 100% sure. It was off the Air Force Base.
Formal party was over?
Well, it was kind of during the formal party, but it was after a lot of people had already started leaving and stuff. And we remember that this couple of Secret Servicemen came in. One went to the window and looked around outside the window and stuff. The other one came in, looked in the closet, and thought he'd seen us.
Was it
He had a
dark?
flashlight. The lights were off. He didn't even bother turning the lights. Come in with a flashlight. Looked in the closet. I guess he didn't really look around it because me and him were sitting on a foot right below him. He kind of looked like this. He didn't even look down. He kind of looked like that and stuff. Turned around, walked out of the room and stuff, and then we seen this other guy come in and stuff.
Okay, you said that Larry King would send you out to politicians and congressmen, senators. So how did you know they were congressmen, senators?
Well, a lot of times when we were like in Washington, D.C. and stuff, I figured it out after a while when they came in, and like some of them had bodyguards. They'd come in and look around. And they'd always be like, they'd always have forward guys that would go in before they would. If they made a shot, I guess a forward guy would be shot. And that was mainly with the congressmen and stuff. The governors, we went to different states and we met with, I think I was only with 2 governors.
What state did you go to and when?
There was one out in New York or Massachusetts. I've been trying to figure that one out because we were in, where we were at was like real close to either side. So I don't know where it was at, but I do know that I met with Senator Barney Franks, who was from Boston, or something like that.
Is he U.S. Senator?
I believe so. Barney Franks.
Did he molest you?
He had sexual relations with me.
Okay.
That's later on.
Is it Franks? F-R-A-N-K-S? Okay, who are the governors? Can you remember? Did you recognize any of the politicians?
I don't recognize too many of them. I didn't ask who they were. The only ones I really knew was Studs, a guy named Gall. Were any state senators from Nebraska, as far as I remember?
Did you recognize, aside from the fact that you had sex with some of these politicians, at some of these parties, did you recognize any prominent senators or congressmen or anybody, even though you may not have had sex with them?
A lot of the parties I went to with King had prominent people, because at Washington, D.C., whenever we were down there, you guys had parties. At the beginning of the party, you had a lot of young guys and stuff that were servers. We'd sometimes serve stuff, sometimes we'd be up in the background, we'd be walking around the party, so nothing was to take place then. After the party was over, the ones that were involved with him, or the ones that he was trying to get political favors from, that won whatever they wanted, they would stay or they'd come in after the party was over, or the next day. See, so at the party, nothing even abnormal. I mean, if somebody was in there and stuff, they'd see no abnormal activities going on, so they would, honestly be able to say that. I've been to parties, but I've never seen anything. So, but I've seen Some parties down in Washington, I seen President Bush there, which I'd rather not talk about him.
Wait a minute, what year was that? Was he
That
president
was
or vice
vice
president?
president. That's when he was still vice president. I've never met him as president because he became president in '88, and I never went around him after that.
You saw him at how many of these parties?
I seen him at about 3 or 4 parties, and
This
at
was
every one of
before-
the parties, you had a little ID card that you had to have, and they had a little scanner thing. And when you went in, they ran it across this thing to get in there and stuff. They had they had special agents everywhere, Secret Service men everywhere and stuff. And I fell off the balcony of the guns pointing in your face, and you're only about 15, 16 years old. But the reason was because the vice president was there, so they had to have all the Secret Service. But I also seen at some of them, I seen people like Maureen Reagan, which is, I believe, President Reagan's daughter. or something.
What did Vice President Bush hang around after the party was over, or what?
He was after the party a couple of times, and we were hiding in the closet, but I didn't do nothing with him. He was with a black kid, and he was with a white kid.
What do you mean with a white kid and a black kid?
Well, there was one
Tell me
white
about,
kid, didn't recognize him at first.
was the closet door open or closed?
It was partially open,
Okay.
so we could see out there and stuff. And was from this area, and I seen at the time Vice President Bush go in, and all he did was the kids performed oral sex on him. That was it.
Kids what?
Performed oral sex on him, and
The kid performed oral, which of the black kid or the white kid?
both. Well, first I seen him at 2 different times. First with the white kid, then with
When
the
you
black.
were in the closet?
Yeah, we were in
Was
the
that
closet both times.
Oh, were you?
That was our normal hideout. Me, him, and other kids and stuff. That's where we hid out at. We'd go on the plaza and stuff. And we would,
So you were in that closet twice when Vice President Bush came in?
I was in the closet more than twice, isn't it? About
I mean,
3 or
when
4 dozen
Vice
times.
President Bush came in, 2 separate parties, once with a white kid and once with a black kid? Is
Yeah.
that right? So you saw him twice?
Yeah.
And the kid had to perform oral sex on him? And what happened after they finished?
And he just got up and kind of left, and because it was the only place you could hide from Larry King at. He never knew where you were at when you were in there. He always figured you were up in some room with somebody, and so he never went and bothered looking for you. So he just disappeared for a while, and he'd go and look in the bedroom. He'd never look in the closet, which had all kinds of stuff in it too.
What do you have in there?
Clothes, anything. I mean, he was kind of a wild guy. I mean, I don't know if anybody knew that he was a drag queen, but he liked to dress up in women's clothing a lot of times. I mean, you got Queen of the Max, and
So you're talking about all kinds of women's clothing.
he had some women's clothing in there, but yeah, men's clothing, suits and stuff.
Could have been his wife's clothing?
Not in his size.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you see Bush there any other time?
I just seen him at a couple other parties, but I never seen him do anything.
So you saw him probably at total of 4 parties?
Yeah.
You saw him involved in the sex act twice?
Yeah.
What happened to this Webb kid from Washington, D.C.?
As far as I know, he's still down in Washington, D.C.
What happened to the other kid? Black
Wally?
kid? Yeah. Or
I don't know, no.
Joe Webb was the black kid, wasn't he?
No, Wally was.
Wally Webb, okay. He's from Omaha.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
I don't know. Only thing I know about.
What other politicians did you visit? Let's say you still went to 2 governors. One was either New York or Massachusetts. And what year was that?
That was in the early '80s. I'm not sure exactly what year.
And where was the other governor?
I couldn't even say for sure. I know it was down around on the East Coast, though. It was down lower toward Washington, D.C. because we were on a trip there and we drove to where it was at. So I'm not sure where it was from.
Who's we?
Larry King. He was the one that always. He accompanied me, or he'd have one of his personal boys, well, personal men, because they had Bodies by God, and they had all that kind of stuff down there.
Did you ever see Bush in Omaha?
No, I've never seen him on the home. I've never been there. But I knew a guy that gave us a trip to the White House one night, and that was a guy named Jerry Spence.
He gave you a trip to the White
Spencer.
House?
Yeah, it took me and a bunch of other boys for a tour through the White House.
And when was that?
Well, it actually happened about 6 or 7 times.
Did somebody have
The
sex?
upper rooms where supposedly nobody goes.
Did somebody have sex with you there?
No, but we went and had sex afterwards. I don't know who they were. I mean, they were
Where did you go for sex afterward?
to a hotel. It was near the Lincoln Memorial.
Do you know who had sex with you? Spence. Do you know where Spence is from?
No. All I know is he was
Who introduced you to Spence?
King. He got me involved with what they called Bodies by God, and then they also had another group which I was involved with, which was Dream Boys,
Okay.
the group that they ran. And Larry King was part of with getting boys and young men involved with it.